Bombshell Gooners! Fabrizio Romano has just confirmed that Arsenal have sent an official bid for one of the most exciting teenage talents in English football, and this deal is moving fast. Meanwhile, a stunning report has just claimed that Arsenal are not choosing between Rodgers and Barcola. They could actually be signing both of them this summer in a move that would completely change European football. And one of Hale End's most talented graduates is set to leave Arsenal for good, and the destination reveals just how far his career has fallen from where everyone expected it to be. If you want every detail on these massive stories as Arsenal's summer takes serious shape, subscribe right now, turn on notifications, and let's get straight into it. Let's jump straight into the first story because Fabrizio Romano has just posted the words every Arsenal fan has been waiting weeks to read, and this one is now moving at serious speed. Romano was unambiguous on X. Arsenal sent official bid to Leicester City to get Jeremy Monga deal done. 16-year-old winger keen on joining Arsenal, and deal moving quickly now with optimism to sign Leicester talent, seen as huge prospect for the future. Official bid. Moving quickly, optimism. From Fabrizio Romano. That is as close to done as a transfer gets before the actual announcement. And this has been building for months behind the scenes. Personal terms were agreed 2 weeks ago, with Monga choosing Arsenal over interest from Manchester City and several other clubs. The kid looked at his options and picked Arsenal. That tells you everything about the project Arteta and Berta are building. Now let us talk about what Arsenal are actually getting here, because the profile is genuinely extraordinary for a 16-year-old. Monga has already made 7 Premier League appearances for Leicester, becoming one of the youngest players ever to appear in the top flight at just 15 years and 271 days old. Young talent expert Jacek Kulig compared him directly to Vinicius Jr. and awarded him a 9.5 out of 10 potential rating. That is a number that almost never gets given to anyone. There is also a beautiful detail buried in this story. Monga and Max Daumann are close friends. The pair have played together multiple times for England at youth level. They could soon be club teammates at the Emirates, and the thought of those two developing alongside each other under Arteta's coaching is genuinely mouthwatering. Should this deal be completed, Arsenal would hold the record of having the 3 youngest players in Premier League history simultaneously on their books: Nwaneri, Daumann and Monga. That is not an accident. That is a deliberate, brilliant strategy from Berta to future-proof this club for the next decade. Get this one over the line today. Now let's talk about the story that has sent the entire Gooner fanbase into a frenzy, because The Independent have just claimed something that, if it happens, would make this the most exciting transfer window in Arsenal's modern history. Arsenal are not viewing Rodgers and Barcola as alternatives. They are exploring the possibility of signing both. The Independent were clear there is a genuine possibility that the champions buy both Rodgers and an attacker such as Barcola in the coming weeks. Let that sink in for a moment. £100 million for Morgan Rodgers, £112 million for Bradley Barcola, both arriving in the same summer window. That would be a statement of intent so loud it would echo across every dressing room in Europe. And here is what makes this genuinely credible rather than just transfer fantasy. Arsenal spent in excess of £200 million last summer on 8 new players, and every single one of them contributed to the Premier League title. The Kroenkes have already demonstrated they are willing to back Arteta at the highest financial level. With record revenues, Champions League final prize money, and a title to defend, the funds are there. But the really fascinating part of this story is what it reveals about Arteta's tactical thinking, because if both players arrive, they will not be competing for the same position. Barcola is a natural left winger, direct, explosive, devastating in 1-versus-1 situations. Rodgers is best deployed as a number 10. Creative, intelligent, physically dominant in the half space. Together they solve 2 separate problems in one summer, and if Rodgers plays as the 10, the implication is impossible to ignore. Martin Odegaard's time at Arsenal may be drawing to a close. A front 4 of Gyökeres, Barcola, Saka and Rodgers behind them would be one of the most frightening attacks in European football. Berta, this is the move that wins Arsenal the Champions League. Make it happen. Now let's round things off with a story that will bring genuine sadness to every Arsenal supporter who remembers the early hype, because Reiss Nelson appears set to leave the Emirates for good, with relegated West Ham among the clubs interested in signing him. According to ex-employee relayed by Claret and Hugh, the Hammers are interested in bringing Nelson in, if the player is willing to drop down to Championship football following their relegation on the final day of last season. That is the brutal reality of where Nelson finds himself at 26 years of age. Championship football, a decision about whether his ambitions still match the opportunities available to him. And that tension is the saddest part of this entire story. Because there was a time, not so long ago, when many Arsenal supporters genuinely believed Nelson would become a first-team star. He emerged from Hale End as one of the most gifted teenagers the academy had produced in years. Pace, technical quality, the ability to create moments of magic in the final third. Every indicator at youth level suggested this was a player built for the top. Football, however, does not follow scripts. Whether through injuries, competition for places, or simply the brutal mathematics of a squad that kept improving around him, Nelson never managed to establish himself with any consistency in Arteta's first team. A loan move to Brentford last season, which many hoped would be the moment he rekindled his career, produced just 339 minutes of football across all competitions. Injuries again. Always injuries. Nelson will enter the final year of his Arsenal contract this summer, and this is the last realistic window in which Berta can generate a meaningful fee. The club must handle this one respectfully and correctly. A player who gave everything he had for the badge, who came through the academy and wore the shirt with pride, deserves a clean and dignified exit. Sometimes careers do not work out the way anyone intended. That does not diminish what Nelson represented or what he tried to achieve. We wish him well, wherever he ends up. Now I want to hear from you. How excited are you that the Monga deal is now officially moving? Do you actually believe Arsenal can sign both Rodgers and Barcola in the same window? And how do you feel about Reiss Nelson's likely departure? Is it the right time for both parties to move on? Drop everything in the comments right now. I read every single one and your debates are always absolutely electric. Let's build this summer together. And if you want every Arsenal update as we push to bring that Champions League trophy to the Emirates, hit that subscribe button immediately, smash it right now and turn on notifications. This window is delivering everything and we are only just getting started. Until next time, Gooners, come on you Gunners.